trichologist and hair replacement expert. She is also a certified affiliate of the Nadia Hughes Hair Again hair loss system. She has been in the beauty industry for over 10 years and has been an innovator in the hair industry, establishing one of the very first individually owned hair extensions company in the tri-state area. She is passionate about helping her clients to retain regrowth and regain their hair and self-esteem. Ama is the proud mother of 3-year-old Jaquan, and when she is not helping her clients, she is nurturing her son. Thank you so much for joining us.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. It is my pleasure to be on the opposite end of the interview scene.
I know, because you're the voice, one of the voices of Trichologists on a Mission.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you for joining us today. So we have a few questions for you. And the first one is, what attracted you to the hair industry?
Oh, that one is easy. I've actually, it's funny, I didn't start in the hair industry until late in life, actually, till I was about 36, 37 years old. But what's crazy is that I had always been my own stylist. I had, prior to becoming a licensed cosmetologist, I had always installed my own extensions. I had always cut my own hair, colored it. I'd done all kinds of things with hair, but never once did it dawn on me, maybe you should be in this industry, you know? So it's always been something that I've enjoyed doing. And what propelled me into it professionally is I started selling hair extensions. Very early on, probably in 2006, I started selling hair extensions before anyone ever even thought. As a matter of fact, some people laughed at me when I told them that that's what I was going to do. Now you have everyone selling hair extensions. And so it's become a big business. And that's what really kind of pushed me into doing hair.
Okay. And I'm sorry, let me apologize. We do have another guest on the podcast today, and that is our innovator and founder, Miss Nadia Hughes.
Nadia.
Hello. How y'all doing?
So she'll be chiming in also. Okay, another question I have is, what changes have you noticed in the industry?
Oh, well, a lot of changes. First, probably the number of people, and particularly when I consider my industry, like I said, with hair extensions and hair replacement, the number of people that have become aware, and that's simply because of the amount of information that's available. People have more access to products and information, and so it's creating a huge stream of competition, which is good because that keeps you up on your game. Right. Also, they're doing more scientific studies. They're taking hair loss more serious than they have in the past. And also, again, what I love about Hair Again, we're looking into natural forms and ways of bringing hair back. And so those are the things that are different. Whereas before it was cover. Now it is recover.
Correct. And more of a holistic approach than medicine based.
Absolutely.
Only. Yes. Okay. And how do trichologists fit in the industry, and what is the benefit of seeing a trichologist?
Oh, it's extremely important. And it's extremely important because of the amount of information that's out there. Some of it's not right. A lot of it's not right. A lot of it can be dangerous to your clients, but it's extremely important to have a trichologist that you can call on for hair loss. It's extremely important for the client as well as the stylist. So, right. And the role that we play is we're connectors. You know what I mean? We connect, at times we connect the doctors to the clients. At times we connect the clients with their stylists. So our job is an important role for keeping people with healthy heads of hair.
Yes,
that's so true.
Yes.
Well, I have a very quick question for you, Ms. Ama. as this industry has grown day to day, we see more people becoming hair loss specialists, and there's so many companies offering these services for professional stylists to re-educate themselves on that factor. Now, what I've noticed, I attended the hair show, the Burner Brothers hair show, and I've spoken to one lady, and she told me I was offering the class that we're offering, and she said, I'm already a hair loss specialist. And I said, oh, that's great. Who do you go with? And she said, Tony Love. I've taken Tony Love certification class, but now, there's a difference. So if you can enlighten us with the difference in between hair restoration and hair replacement. We're talking about two different things. Indeed, we can become hair loss specialists on the field, but we're talking about two different things. And I think that's where a lot of our professionals out there are getting confused and misled. And there's a lot of miscommunication in that factor. So can you explain real quick what a hair replacement person does compared to a trichologist? What do we do? So
Absolutely. That's a great question. And one of the things that I want to say is that our clients lose out when our professionals don't know the difference.
Correct.
And the one thing that we want to do is we want our clients to win. That's our whole purpose of being
all the time. Mm-hmm.
So the difference, a hair replacement person simply replaces the hair just as it says. So if a person does extensions, to give volume to a client, to give length to a client, it's replacing the hair that they have and adding something to it or giving them new hair. Now, oftentimes, literal hair replacement will mean what we call back in the day toupees, hair pieces, hair units. It's often something that is either clipped, sewn, or glued down that replaces whatever hair you may have lost. But trichologists, we treat, not like in the sense of doctors, but what we do is we study. We study the scalp disorders. We study the hair disorders. We work with doctors. We work with our clients with respect to changing their diets, to offering our expert opinions on things like alkaline water and how important that is. Things like even down to essential oils and certain things like that. But trichologists literally study the science of hair loss in order to treat it. Hair replacement people, we replace the hair with wigs, toupees, units, whatever you want to call it. But that's basically what that is. That's the difference.
Okay. Yeah. So that's telling us that pretty much trichologists, we treat from the root of the problem. We try to regrow the own person's hair to restore. Yeah. Once a person restore, their health, they're at their prime inside of their body, it should able to produce. Of course, if the ailments that they have, present, it will allow them. So yeah, that was one thing that I just wanted to, because I know you're a specialist on hair replacement. Mm-hmm. and wigs and all that fun stuff that I'm trying to get at your level.
And I tell you, it's a discussion that's needed. And
yes, definitely.
We as hair replacement, we cover. As trichologists, we recover.
We discover. I think we discover first of all what's going on.
Absolutely.
What's the root of the problem, and from there we get to treat. We try to to change a little bit habits that we got going on that probably in the past hasn't helped us.
Absolutely.
So definitely I wanted to put that out there, guys, because of the simple fact that there's a lot of confusion. This lady told me, I went to a hair restoration lady, and she put a really nice piece for me, but I moved, and I said, well, that's hair replacement. We're talking about two different things. Hair restoration is when you restore your own hair from within.
And keep in mind that depending on your issue, hair restoration may not be the best for you.
Correct. That's a great point.
It's treatable and you can regrow your hair back. I don't know a person who wouldn't want that. over.
Right.
Now, I'm not saying that there's not a person out there that that doesn't, but what I am saying is that in most cases, if people can regrow and restore their own natural hair, oftentimes restoration can get in the way of that.
Correct. That's so true. Well, thank you for the great explanation. As there's been a lot of confusion, and when people ask me, I try to explain to my best knowledge, to the best of my knowledge. Me as a hair extension specialist, I've been covering for a long time issues, and that's what took me into saying, you know what, I'm going to move on to the next thing, which is trichology. You know, to figure it out, find out the root of the problem, and try to assist them as best I can. Not no more covering, you know, because as you know, it's really difficult to retain one client. And if we get clients losing their hair, we lose our job on that end. So that's why I said, you know what, I'm gonna move on into the next level, which is trichology. It's a beautiful science, and realizing how it works hand in hand within our body, our circulatory system, our nervous system, all that together, how it goes intertwined with our hair, you know, it's amazing.
Yes, it is.
But yeah, I just want to send it back to you, Lori. What do you think about, what is your input about hair replacement and hair restoration, ma'am?
Yeah, it's a very good discussion to have, just because with trichology being so new, pretty much in the States, where, you know, it has been for a long time in the European countries, since the 1800s, okay? It's very established over there, and it's also looked at very differently over there, too, in UK, Australia, and countries like that. Here in the States, when you mention trichology, people instantly think hair replacement, you know, or weaves or extensions. That's the connection that they have, and it's something totally different. So we as trichologists who have studied further into and know more about it, it's our job to get this distinct description out there to the people, to let them know, no, those are two different things.
Yes.
Something totally different. One is to help your overall body.
Yes.
Okay, which in turn will help your hair, and the other one is just a Band-Aid.
Yes.
It's a Band-Aid and a fashion statement, pretty much.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people are just tired. You know, you go to an age that you said, I'm just tired of dealing that, have to be putting off my wig. I have a client that came to me and she's like, look, I just want my afro back. I don't want to deal with no extensions, no pieces, no glues, no nothing.
Right.
That has only put not only put a toll in my hair, but it has put a toll in my pocket. So on that end, you know, I'm ready. I'm ready to be able to regrow my hair. And one thing I see, just an input, I see how African American restore their hair much faster. They have the ability of restore their hair much faster than any other race.
Wow.
Why is it? I don't know. It's something that I'm still trying to figure it out.
Original people we are.
Right? So another question that I have, Miss Ama, you know, when we're in high school, and I have gotten a lot of ladies come to me and ask me, well, my friend, you know, put my extensions with glue and stuff like that. What is the right or the wrong way about going with bonding? As we know that the toilet can take bonding.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I am not a proponent of bonding people with good growing hair. Right. I feel like if you have come to a point where you have lost your hair and there's no returning, then I think that bonding is it's a choice for you. But I totally disagree with bonding hair to someone who has healthy natural hair. You know, I don't see anything that good that comes from it. That is just, and that's just my opinion. I have never bonded did a quick weave. I ain't never glued, I've never done any of that. And because I just believe that it destroys the hair. And that's all been the case always for me, even before I became a trichologist. So that's just my opinion on it. There's too many other ways to put hair in.
Yes, there's so many ways nowadays. It's ridiculously.
Blonding is destructive now, but they do have methods where you can put caps on, or things like that. But to me, why not just wear a wig if you're going to put a cap on and then glue hair to it? But that's again, it's a person's choice, but it's not something that I participate in.
Right.
Great. Well, thank you very much for your answers.
Yeah.
Lori, go ahead.
Yep. You answered that last one. Answered my last question, so that was that was good. It was just and also if you could add a little bit more of what you what do you do, the services that you provide mainly.
Well, my services, they run the gamut of hair, of course, hair replacement, and hair restoration. Of course, I'm a certified trichologist, so I treat, and now it is my first priority to treat over covering up, which is what, in the past, that's really all we had to offer our clients. So, but I do a full range of extensions, from fusion and tapes to braided sew-ins, to making wigs and repairing lace units. I do it all. So yeah, I enjoy it. I love what I do. I feel very, very fortunate to be able to help clients in the way that I do.
That's awesome. And I just want to put this note out there to let people know that we're not saying weaves, wigs, extensions, and things of that nature are bad. We're saying that before, when wigs came out, they were to accentuate or give you a quick way to change your appearance.
Absolutely.
Now in this day and age, it has become more of a way of life. And people have issues going on that's causing them to lose their hair. Absolutely. And we're saying, find out what the root is going on that's causing you to have issues, and don't use what was once considered, temporary change to become a way of life for you. That's what we're saying. And there are techniques that can be harmful to you, and we're saying avoid those techniques. Do your research on people who are doing healthy techniques for your hair versus harmful techniques, because everything in and of itself is not bad. It's the technique in which it's being done that causes the problem.
You know what? I'll tell you guys a really quick story, and it's funny because a friend of mine, she's also a client, and I just did her hair yesterday. Okay, and she has a full head of beautiful hair. She's in her 50s. And of course, I just, got my sister locks put in. So she's looking at my hair and she's saying, "Oh, those are beautiful." I said, "You know what? These will look really great on you." And she said, "You know what? You might be right." She said, I think that might be my next move, right? Meanwhile, she's been wearing sew-ins for probably 20 years. Now, so I said, yeah, because, who doesn't get tired of wearing the sew-ins and the wigs and the weaves? You want to be free. She says, me. She says, I don't get tired of my wigs and my weaves. And there are some people who don't, and that is fine. That's okay. As long as you have someone who is actually taking care of your hair.
Yes, yes, because you can wear those and you should still, I know people who wear them on a regular, have been, but their own hair is probably down to their waist.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? So we're saying not that you can't wear, but that your own hair should still be intact.
You don't have to negate one to have the other.
Right.
I just think it needs to be a balance, and everything in our life, it has to be a balance.
Yeah.
And when any of our habits become chronic, that's when the problem comes in. And definitely, I know a lot of ladies that still wear hair extensions and they don't need it. I'm like, you don't need it. Well, it just becomes a habit.
Right.
I've have the typical ladies that come. It's like, well, I want to cover, you know, that is very thin, and so. But the fact that your hair is thin and I am offering extensions, that don't mean that you're a good candidate for extensions either.
Right.
Because we have to realize what's going on. Why is thin now? So now I'm refusing more clients for extensions until they treat themselves. I'm able to go ahead and take them, because otherwise I cannot just take, you know, be part of the problem when I'm trying to become a part of the solution. So definitely when it comes chronic, we don't shampoo our hair regularly, or we don't dry it properly.
Right.
There's a lot of fungi, a lot of stuff. When it itches, we scratch, and it creates a little burst right there that it can become an infection, you know. And you know, when we deal with hair loss, there's always inflammation. So we always see those little ampules of pull bumps, what we called. And we end up losing the hair if we don't treat it immediately. So like I said, I always tell my clients, everything come with a balance. In the summer, you can wear your hair short, cute, you know, and we can treat it and getting it ready and strong for the winter, when you want to wear that big hair and long.
That's right.
You don't have to be all sweaty and you know, mascara running and stuff like that. So yeah, I think it's about re-educating our clients and all this stuff.
Yes.
Absolutely. That's the key.
All right. Well, Miss Ama, tell everyone where they can reach you at and how to get in touch with you.
Well, it's easy to find me. You can find me on Facebook, either at Lutress Premium Hair Extensions or at New Life Hair Restoration. You can email me at newlifehairrestoration@gmail.com. You can call me. At 412-322-HAIR. That's 412-322-HAIR, 4247. So those are the ways that you can reach me. I'm also on Instagram at New Life Hair Restoration. You can find me there. So yeah, easy to find.
Awesome. Well,
Thank you, Miss Ama.
Oh, you're welcome. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for the invite, though.
Yeah.
Well, guys, we'll see you next week.
Yes.
We definitely have a special guest coming next week. It's gonna be a surprise for many of you guys, as he's been in the industry for many years, and we're gonna pick his brain once he comes in. So we're not gonna say his name yet, but once he comes on board and do our little interview here at Trichologists On A Mission, y'all gonna love him. So don't forget to tune in. Miss Lori, I leave it to you, Miss Lori.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure having you join us today.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your interviews and questions. And until next time, folks, tune in every week. Trichologists On A Mission.
Bye, guys.
Bye.